Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. I'm currently doing the Africa quest, which involve the Great Train Race and a guy named Mr. Higgs. And this is my train going past in its wonderful current configuration, which is now passenger oriented, as I've done most of the cargo stuff that I can do in this game. Not quite all, but most. And I should be somewhere in Canada West, I believe. On my way to Hazleton by the looks of it. And I'm going up to Iskut for the next part of the quest, which I think was to go collect some balloons. I will see what it actually says. Buy balloon cargo from Iskut, British Columbia. I assume that's British Columbia. I assume that's what the BC stands for. In Africa Chapter 1-6. Yes. I haven't spent much time in Africa during the Africa quests, but there again, in the Oceania quests, I didn't spend much time in Oceania either. So these quests are loosely named after the region which they're associated to, but they don't seem to necessarily involve much time in the region it's named after. I am... Oh, just let me get through here. I don't think I want anything from the market. Nope. I think last time I was somewhere in Asia and I had to make my way over here, so I've done that. It gave me a chance to do a couple of circuits of USA West to pick up a load of microprocessors. So I've now got most of the microprocessors I need for any outstanding cargo requirements around the world. Not quite all that I need, but most. I'm also completing a load of jobs for mileage, etc., to get my money up. And one of the things I'm not sure about, and I'll zoom out for this bit, is I have two stations, Banff and Las Vegas, in the USA and Canada to complete. I'm not sure if that actually completes the North America part or if I've got to do all the stations in Mexico. So once I've got 4 million, I will upgrade Las Vegas and Banff and see if that is enough, or if I need to complete all the stations in Mexico if they count for another region. I assume they're part of North America because, well, technically it is part of North America. So I don't know the answer to that one because I've never completed them before, so I guess I'll find out shortly. But that is going to be, what, 2.323 million away. Here we go with the... Buy the balloons. Quite a few balloons by the looks of it. Sophia, phew. I finally finished reading that rulebook. It's massive. Valerie, alright team, what's our plan of attack? According to the rules, we can modify our train to get race ready. I have my list of repairs and I've also made a list of items for booby traps. Booby traps? You weren't joking about those? You never know what could happen. What if Cyril chained our caboose in place? Try saying that fast. We have to have countermeasures, Valerie. Countermeasures. I suppose. What do we need first, Sophia? We need to get some gear to rig up a super nitro boost to our engine. We'll need to reinforce our engine to handle all that energy. And I've drawn up some plans for a mobile EMP. It worked on space trains, it should work on our competitors too. Don't you think that's playing dirty? You want to win, right? Okay. Doesn't sound like a very friendly race. So now I need to go to Memphis, Tennessee. To buy ribbon cargo of all things. Okay, where is Memphis, Tennessee? It's over there. Not that difficult to get to. Just going to take a little while. So, whilst I'm on my way, I might as well collect the money for the jobs I've completed. Get more jobs. I need another 4 so far by the looks of it. Apparently there's an obstruction in the way. Right, that's 4 new jobs. course, clearing this obstruction will complete at least one, possibly two more jobs. I don't need any of the things that came from that obstruction. I also need to clear all the money out of my entertainment and food cars, and I should collect the money out of my caboose as well. 75,000. Not an inconsiderable amount. Helps me on my way to my goal of reaching 4 million. Well, I say reaching 4 million. Once I get to 2 million, I'm going to spend the 2 million, and then I'll try and gather another 2 million. And I may well get bored with this engine, but it does give me plus 20 passengers apparently. Although you wouldn't think so, as I've only got 21 on my train anyway. But I don't mind this engine. I've only had it on my train for a couple of episodes so far. But I do have trains that go, or engines that go faster. So it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen the other, whether I want speed or whether I want passengers or what. Let me clear this junk I just picked up. Well, it wouldn't be junk if I actually had a place to sell it that actually wanted it, but I don't. So it's unnecessary cargo. The only cargo I want from North America is microprocessors. And I have 24 of them sat on my train and 517 sat in my depot. But I've got to fulfill Mumbai, which wants about 400, Kinshala, which I think wants 150, and Lusaka, I don't know how many that wants. So I'm going to need probably around the 600 plus microprocessors in total. So I'm not that far away from achieving that goal. Let's have my train a bit of a speed boost as we head back out of Canada towards Kamloops and then back into the USA. I'm trying to decide what else I want to play. As if you saw, is it episode 81 I think it was, where I reconfigured my train to be more of a passenger train because of the wonders of South America, which is essentially going to cause me to have a hard stop in this game because I can't progress any further once I've done everything else I want to do or can do, at least as far as I can currently tell. So whilst I could theoretically play other games, play and record other games at the same time as I'm playing this one, this game has sucked me in the joy of I want to keep completing stuff. When you fulfill cargo requirements for stations, it feels quite good when you travel halfway across the world to get the cargo you need to come back to fulfill cargo requirements. It feels quite good. So I've enjoyed completing stuff in this game because you're always trying to complete something, which I find quite nice. There's nothing I want in Kamloops. Yep, there's absolutely nothing I want in Kamloops. Wasn't always that way. And if I do somehow manage to get past the block in South America, I'm going to have to spend time running around picking up building materials again. I'm going to have a lot more stations to construct. However, like I say, I don't think that's particularly likely. There's a little bit of money in these cars. What route am I taking? I'm going to Vancouver. Oh, then on to Banff. And then down to Calgary. Okay. Not the worst route. I could have cut across to the Canada West factory to cut out this little bit of a corner. But I didn't think of that at the time. Because, well, I don't always think of things. Again, I don't care about Vancouver. Doesn't matter to me in the slightest. It has no cargo that I want. I know these things because I played a lot of hours in this game. Now, there's lots of games in my Steam library I haven't touched, including Red Dead Redemption 2 at this point. It's been sat there for a while now. I picked it up when it was on sale. I think it was Steam Winter Sale or something. I picked that one up in. I just don't have the space on my hard drive to actually install it right now. There's a couple of other train games I might try. I am still occasionally playing that wonderful Train Conductor World game, but I'm having less and less joy with the BlueStack software. The amount of times it crashes, or the game crashes whilst running that, because it's a mobile game, not really meant to be played on a PC, even with an application that converts it. It makes life more of a challenge, I suppose. I may go back and play a bit more of Cook Serve Delicious 3, because I like that game. I like all the Cook Serve Delicious games. These are just random thoughts going around in my head on a joyous morning. Have a bit of a speed boost. There's a bit of a distance to Banff. What else is there to say? Not a lot, really. I am kind of surprised. I turned on the TV over the weekend and it was showing the NFL Combine during prime time. Whose stupid idea was that one? And who watches people constantly doing the same drills over and over for players and finds it interesting? And I know the draft can be interesting because you might have a team and you care about who your team picks. If you have any interest in college football players, which I don't, because I have no affiliation to an American college. But watching people basically work out in a very repetitive way doesn't seem like it would be particularly thrilling prime time viewing. There again, having seen what they play in prime time on American television, most of it isn't particularly thrilling viewing. It seems to be the networks go for the lowest and cheapest common denominator. Most of the TV channels censor films, because God forbid you get corrupted by swearing or seeing a nipple on American television, but change the channel and here's some hardcore pornography for you. It's a really weird system in America, but you kind of get used to it over time. However, what I was going to say, I don't care what's in Calgary either, there's nothing there that I want, or Helena, Montana for that matter. Oh yes, I actually caught a reality TV series they've got called Lego Masters. I was really bored at the time, I must admit. I just finished watching something, I forgot what, and Lego Masters was on next, or was on the only thing that even vaguely caught my attention. 300 channels of crap, so that was the best thing that was on. But it was actually quite interesting in the way they put together these wonderfully huge bits of Lego ideas. They had a theme, and these teams of two were constructing Lego based on the theme they were given. They were all given different themes, all these teams of two. And Lego has come a long way over the last few decades, I must admit. I'm not entirely sure you could really call it Lego anymore. It was a little child's toy when I was young. Now it seems to be this huge industry of all sorts of stuff. But I'm normally impressed when people come up with something which would never occur to me. I'm interested in people's thought processes. As I said to a friend of mine not too long ago, one of the reasons we get on is he makes me think. I don't always necessarily agree with people, but if you can make me think about a point of view that may be different from mine, and make me think and have a constructive, decent argument about why I should think that way, I am more than interested to listen, and you may even change my point of view and my perspective, because you made me think about it and consider things I may not have previously considered. And I tend to get on with people that make me think. I don't tend to get on with people that just parrot whatever the popular opinion of the day is, as though they think that is some kind of intellectual thought. So if you consider and study stuff and actually form an opinion based on a variety of information, then I'm probably going to find you interesting. And I'm like that with most people. If you can't make me think or consider different points of view, and maybe it's just I consider different points of view because you have a different experience or perspective from me. So, but if you don't continually build up your knowledge, then that's not going to last too long. It's just your opinion based on your life experiences, and you're not going beyond those to try and learn more. I'll probably get on with you, but I probably won't find you particularly interesting and spend a great deal of time with you. So I like interesting people, basically. Long story short, too late, I know. If you're interesting and can make me think, then I'm probably going to enjoy your company. I do have colleagues who seem to assume that I should find, I don't know, films, cartoons, TV shows of which fart jokes are the or bodily humour is the main source of income, or pratfalls. And whilst I can enjoy them in small doses, I don't find them particularly thrilling over a long period of time. Whereas Monty Python humour, John Finnemore humour, The Unbelievable Truth, these types of humour which are clever, they tend to be more enjoyable to me. Yes, occasionally I have enjoyed a Will Ferrell film, Talladega Nights being the one I can think of off the top of my head, but 90% of his films I have found completely and utterly stupid and unfunny. Whereas, what was his name? John Ritter, who also made a living off pratfalls, he was also very, very amusing in body language and how he did other stuff, so I could find him far funnier than I ever found Will Ferrell. That guy really does go for the lowest common denominator. Yeah. Benny Hill was funny in small doses. And being English, I was subjected to a lot of Benny Hill when I was young, and he was funny. But I couldn't sit there and have a Benny Hill marathon and watch more than one episode of Benny Hill one after the other, because it really would have just driven me to distraction. Kenny Everett, same type of thing. But David Mitchell, sort of Robert Webb, sort of comedians like that. Jimmy Carr, sort of his humour is clever because it works on various levels, and there's a lot of people like that which I can find funny. I'm just going straight through Lincoln, Nebraska, as I tour the world, or tour the United States here. I'm getting closer to Memphis, Tennessee. Just got to go through Topeka, Jefferson City, and then I'm at Memphis. Then we'll find out where it sends me next. Yes, I know I'm rambling on because this is the joy, the pleasure, and the downside of this game. Normally, if I wasn't playing this and recording it, I would have just set my destination to Memphis and gone away and, I don't know, read a book, made some food, and just let my train get there by itself. Then I would have come back. After a while, my train would have been coming into Memphis. Because, as I say, there's no cargo I want along the way, so there's nothing for me to stop along the way. But if I just literally recorded my game sat on the main menu, then it really would be even less interesting than this journey across the United States. As I'm just dropping off passengers and collecting new passengers along the way. And the nice thing about having a passenger train is, or passenger configured train, I'm getting more money in my caboose than I used to. Still going to make most of my money off jobs, if I actually bother to collect on the jobs that I've completed, so I might as well. Okay, I've only completed one, I'll make that another one now. But yes, these jobs, yeah, that's another 2 jobs completed. These jobs do complete relative with, there's about to be another 2 jobs completed here. These jobs complete with frequency, which is why I rely on them for my income, rather than passengers or cargo. The only downside is you have to keep accepting the completed jobs, then going finding replacement jobs, which does give you a constant interruption. But into every life a little rain must fall. As now, here we are towards Memphis, Tennessee, and I've got almost the 2 million I need to upgrade Banff. Add a little more cash. Have a burst of speed to get closer to Memphis. A maximum speed of 325 miles an hour. Do that again, and then we'll come flying into Memphis, so I can pick up whatever it is I meant to pick up here. Just try to remember. I must have collected the reward for when I went to Iskut. Otherwise I wouldn't know I'd be going to Memphis. Okay. The ribbon. Lance, do you know why Mr. Higgs loves ribbons so much? I don't think he cares too much for ribbons, but he really enjoys the giant scissors. He probably likes giant novelty checks too. Who doesn't? So now I've got to go back to Lisbon, Portugal. Not a big deal. I will set my destination over to the USA Westport. I might even get to pick up some more microprocessors along the way. Then I will take the boat to Africa West and go north, and then I'm pretty much in Lisbon. However, my arrival at Lisbon will be in the next episode, which is Africa Chapter 1-8. Okay, I don't know how many different quests there are in each chapter, but there's 4 chapters, so it's going to take me a while to actually complete all these Africa quests. But we'll see where it goes and how it gets there. Hopefully it will stop sending me all around the world to pick stuff up, because that's not the most thrilling way to spend my time. But we'll see how that goes in the fullness of time. And yep, on that happy note, once I get out the other side of Jefferson City, MO, I'm guessing possibly Missouri? Right, that's where I'm going to end this episode. Oh yes, I have my one car, which is the South misspelled Africa Lima car. Has leveled up to level 2. It's got a way to go before it gets to level 3. But it's the one car I've got which is on my train that needs upgrading. And once I've got all the money I want, I will spend a lot of time with the gumball machine, I imagine, just to see how many more different cars I can get. But until then, well, I'm kind of stuck with this train configuration for at least now. Okay, as always, I hope you enjoyed or put up with my rambling, and hopefully I'll see you down the track for more of Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio!